Palestinians say it is the largest IDF military operation they have seen in the West Bank in more than 2 decades. The assault is focused on the northern West Bank, including the cities of Jenin and Tulkarem. Israeli officials say the operation targets West Bank terrorist leaders, and their forces have killed at least 29 of them. Hamas and Islamic Jihad have said most were members of their organizations. Israeli analysts say Hamas has started focusing on the West Bank after being weakened in Gaza.
In the Gaza Strip, where Hamas is almost totally dismantled, and Iran and the Hamas leadership abroad understand pretty well that they lost a very crucial and essential asset, which is part of the resistance axis, or so-called resistance axis led by Iran. And they are trying to compensate for this loss by intensifying the terror infrastructure in the West Bank, smuggling weapons and standard explosives and money from Syria and Lebanon and Iraq through Jordan, and then the Jordan Valley to the northern districts of the West Bank.
Israeli political and military officials say terrorist activity in the West Bank has increased, including the local production of weapons.
We discovered that in Jenin, in Ramallah, there is a serious military industry that actually produced for many years those, it's not only missiles like you mentioned, it's also bombs, it's also various of weapons. And I think this is our target.
But Palestinians say the operation in the West Bank is also hurting civilians, especially in the Jenin refugee camp. They say the army has dug up many roads searching for explosive devices, which has made the camp impassable. Water and electricity have been cut off in some areas. Palestinian analysts say public opinion in the West Bank is growing angrier.
Recently, a new phenomenon emerged in West Bank. The people who are willing to fight, and they are collecting weapons, guns, driven by the kind of revenge feeling in towards what's going on in Gaza and the daily practices of the Israeli occupation.
The number of Palestinians killed by Israeli soldiers or Jewish settlers in the West Bank has been rising, with the United Nations reporting 680 dead since the war against Hamas began last October. Israel says 22 soldiers and Israeli civilians have also been killed in the West Bank during the same period. Linda Gradstein, VOA News, Jerusalem.